Okay, Finance Committee on August the 1st, Dr. Jones. Here. Counselor Watney. Counselor Allen. Counselor Smith. Here. Counselor Harden. Here. So is Mr. Watney the only one out?
I think yes.
Okay, so you have a quorum for.
Okay, thank you. The minutes have been distributed for July 18th. Is there a motion that we dispense with those reading and approve them as distributed?
Second.
Mr. Harden seconded that. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. That passes 4-0. Old business 2504-17, request for consideration of 18th Street revitalization project. We have also Keith Strickland.
Yes.
I'm sorry, what?
So I'll give you a quick update on the
We'll fix that to
project.
pay off.
You've been through the site lately. You've seen the contractor continues to make good project going north. He is currently sitting in front of Roby Vance. We've got past the barbershop, past Ed's Pet World. He's got more brick pavers to place in that area. He's making good progress overall. Been very pleased. There's been a couple of things we've had to deal with, like some undercutting and some pipe that had to be removed that we didn't expect, but nothing strong out of the ordinary. One thing I did want to bring to your attention tonight, it relates to the pedestrian traffic signal, which is crossing mid-block there in front of Roby Vance. We're actually making some adjustments to that in two regards. Number one, we're changing the type of poles that we're using in the medians, make them a smaller pole. It won't be as tall as the ones on the outside. So the two poles that'll be in the medians will be shorter. They won't have the luminaire on top. I think it'll be a good design, so we're going to save some money there. One thing that
Keith, I want to make sure I understand, because we talked about this a few weeks ago. I'm driving along, I'm heading north, and I get to that point. Is there going to be some kind of, in the median, some kind of red light of sorts telling me to stop because someone's trying to walk across?
there will be a pole as you're going north. There'll be a pole in the median and a pole on the outside. There'll be two poles facing you.
So I push the button, somebody else is trying to, Jennifer's trying to walk across, she's pushed the button, and it causes a red light.
It's going to
That's what I
flash
thought.
and cause the traffic to stop, exactly.
Okay.
And they'll cross, and then when she gets ready to cross the southbound lanes, which will be a completely separate movement, she'll press another button.
Right.
And those two poles facing the southbound traffic will stop as well.
Okay.
So it's not, you don't push the one button, it lights up both of them. You get to the middle and you push the next one to go to the
That's
next.
exactly right. Matter of fact, if you remember the design, there's actually an offset there. There's a jog. You
Yeah,
can take
it
in.
does
You
kind of
gotta
go like that, yeah.
You cross, you walk down about 10, 15 feet,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
cross again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And let me ask one thing real quick. When I've actually dropped something in the box in the post office today. So, you know, they've got the new thing where you go out the back through the alley, but the signage isn't up yet that tells you to go one way out of the alley. So there was a car in front of me, I knew, because, yeah, went the wrong way, and he
Tried
went.
to turn left.
Yeah, he turned left into the alley, and there was a pickup truck coming. This was getting toward whatever that street is on the alley, so they literally were like face to face, and the guy had to back out to get out in front of them. So are those signs going up? Are we doing those signs? Are we doing those signs?
I think those would be handled. That's
Okay.
not part of the project.
So,
Kale's not here. but-
Kale's not here, but I believe that aspect of the project wasn't necessarily under their.
Yeah. I think that's us.
But you're right, I think we approved those signs, I guess maybe we just need to follow up with Randy and see when they're
Yeah.
gonna go off.
Yeah, because it was a mess today.
But we were going to do the signs.
Yeah.
We were ordering them.
I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't missing something and that something hadn't changed. But I can call Randy or text Randy and ask him to get those signs up because it really was kind of a.
Like everything else, signs even take a little longer to get
Yeah.
in these days, so it
Yes.
could be the whole road. So on that, back on that signal, so we're gonna save some money by doing the smaller two poles on the inside. One area that we're going to adjust for the contractor is the conduit that's gonna go underground. We initially called for that area to be open cut, now we're gonna bore it. So we're gonna add some boring to the project there, but what we're saving in the poles is gonna more than offset the cost of those bores. So one thing I need you to do tonight, it gives the mayor permission to sign a change order on the project, but it's gonna be a deduct. It's a deduct of around $10,000.
We don't get that very often.
I know.
You don't.
Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
We need the exact amount that we need deducted.
Exact amount on the change order is $9,368.58.
Quick question about that.
Yes, ma'am.
We're not making smaller poles and lights to offset the cost, are we? That's not the decision to do, right?
No,
different
two
kind of
completely
poles.
separate decisions. They just happened at the same time, so I was able to put them all on the same.
One's on Grace Spring, right? You have to look.
Yeah.
They're super tall.
And the signal height itself, that doesn't change. It will still be the same height that it would have been anyway, but it's just the two inside poles will be shorter.
Okay, so that's great news. I like when you come here
Yes.
to tell me about a reduction contract. So I guess the proper motion on this would be to accept the change order of a deduction of $9,368.58 and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Yeah, you don't get reductions on projects too often from us.
Right.
Mainly it's usually additions of cost.
Yeah, I would make a
Yep.
motion to approve that change order and have the mayor sign.
Second.
Okay. Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Harden. Any other discussion?
Are we still gonna, I know we're gonna send this out for that, but are we gonna still carry this over in committee until the project's
Yes.
finished?
Yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna carry it over.
Okay.
So for this motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, with the same sign. That is 4-0. And we'll keep it on the agenda.
Okay.
Nothing to need from these.
I don't think so.
Unless you have a contract you need to sign.
It'll just be.
It'll just be the mayor
Forms
signing.
unless-
Unless you need a copy of that contract with the resolutions.
Yeah, is there a contract?
Yes, it's a contract.
It's a one-page change order.
You gonna send it to me and I send it to you, or you gonna send it to me?
It is deductive changes.
You gonna send it to him directly or you gonna send it to me?
Send me that.
again?
I can send it to both of you.
Okay.
There'll be a resolution authorizing the change order.
Mhm.
Anybody,
Huh?
anybody change?
Yeah.
A $9,368.58 deduction.
Deduction.
Uh-huh. I'll
Yes,
give you the
it
account
is.
number.
I can give you a copy of it. Just-
Thank you.
And it's the 18th Street West, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
18th Street West.
Robert, I can send you the account number.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So thank you, Keith. Something
Any
other?
questions on anything?
No?
Okay. All right, I'll stick with it.
Okay, moving on, 050722, request for permission to grant Telepac Networks do business at C Spire, 18 by 18 permanent easement. And Mr. Smith was out, he's out tonight, so I have notes. We have Mark Light. Is that-
Yes, Mark Lyden, I'm a contractor, site act contractor with C Spire. This is Chris with C Spire. And, sure. Do y'all have drawings of it right now? I brought some.
We do not.
I don't think we did.
Okay. Here's a survey for, I talked with Cale this morning in Michigan, I think he was. And he said make 5 copies.
I got a big one.
And then Chris brought a large one.
Here's one for that.
And then, C Spire would like to, acquire an easement. They have an agreement with City of Homewood already for fiber optic distribution.
Well, that's one of the, yeah, I think is that the?
That's typical of what the cabinet.
That's the
Yeah.
cabinet. I've got the cabinet drawing too, if y'all need that. And every so often, they need to purchase an easement from a private landowner. Today, it's the public landowner, City of Homewood, to put the cabinet onto, which is behind me up on the board.
Putting that in the ground mostly?
It's above ground, it's about 5 feet by 7. 7 feet wide, 5 feet tall. It can be landscape fenced to whatever y'all require. And that may go to another committee, I'm not sure. And,
We can handle it all here, I think.
okay, good, that's even better. And they're willing to pay $25,000 for this small easement. I've got a contract if y'all wanted to review that. Did you have a copy of the contract?
I have some papers that somebody sent me.
Okay, it may have
And I don't see the
been.
contract.
You're gonna need an easement, not only for that, but you're gonna need an easement to access that
Yeah,
document.
it's on there also, on that survey. You'll see a survey for a non-exclusive access easement and an exclusive easement.
Is that in West Homewood? Where are you?
It's on that map.
Central Park.
Right behind
Yeah,
the
in that
door.
back, you know, that gravel lot in the back,
Yeah,
off
yeah.
Manhattan, where the lifeguards park.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Back there.
I think land's selling for $100 a foot in Homewood.
We
I don't
don't
think
want
we're
to buy
s-
it, we just want an easement.
Yeah, we're not selling it.
But we're willing to pay 25, which is about $78 a square
What is
foot.
being proposed is a permanent easement that you are essentially using the product.
Yeah.
Just as well
It's a
to sell it,
perpetual easement.
Other than the fact that it's probably park property, so we can't sell it.
We would prefer just if we can, we don't mind using, I told Barry, we would just like to lease it to them. We really don't want to sell the property, because then it,
So can we do a temporary easement? How
They
would
probably
we
need a
structure
perpetual
that?
easement.
Yeah, because he said perpetual.
Yeah.
They don't want to move it in 10 years.
What's proposed is a perpetual easement, permanent easement.
Perpetual.
Yeah. So Berkeley, in that case,
Exclusive perpetual easement.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Exclusive.
that means it's gonna be back there forever.
Yeah.
Do we still feel comfortable with the 25,000?
but that I'll let you guys negotiate, but I think for us, it was just, we didn't want to, I'm thinking, because good Lord willing, in a few short years, I'll be retired, but if they want to do something 10, 15, 20 years down the road, we just don't.
That'd be
you know,
somebody else's deal.
Yeah, and don't want to just tie up the land and where we can't do anything.
And I have been over there. It's
Yeah, I mean,
it's like on the side,
that's
next
just
to a
right
tree.
there. Yeah, it's right there if most of you know where it's at. If you turn in that little gravel parking lot, it's kind of right there to the right,
Yeah.
where we got kind of a hedgerow put.
Is it front on Manhattan, so you just basically can almost access it from
The
Manhattan?
survey,
Yeah.
yeah, it's off Manhattan a little bit.
Yeah, it's right there,
You
John,
can see it on the survey, there's
Okay.
a.
It's probably about 5,
Yeah.
10 foot
10
off the
feet
right of way
off
right there,
Manhattan.
off the sidewalk.
And then there's a non-exclusive easement for access.
I mean, it's easy to hide it, saying it's not that big.
And it's
of
on, there's a
deal.
dedicated street in there, it's not paved either, I think it's 19th Street.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's not paved.
So you're gonna put the driveway in also as a part of this?
Yes, yes.
Hey, John, you want
We're gonna use the existing
Well,
curb.
y'all maintain, yeah. that's the thing.
And you said y'all are willing to fence it?
Fence it and landscape, whatever type of material you guys want.
Shrubs.
Yeah, yeah.
Wood or chain link or whatever, or, you know,
I mean,
decorative iron.
Hey, Mark,
And you'll
when we
maintain
do
the
this,
driveway.
I hate to ask them to come back, but Mr. Kendrick, I've been kind of talking about this, we met out there. There's some stuff he wants to get clarified. And so if we could, if they don't mind, let us meet with the city attorney and go through some stuff with him and let him send some stuff back to them on some legal things. I think that would better help all of us in this thing.
Would it help expedite it if,
I don't
Mr.
mind.
Kendrick, would you just want to communicate directly with him there and done?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not gonna sign an implication to hold you harmless on this non-exclusive easement.
I understand that was just,
Yeah.
It's in the document, it's just not gonna go anywhere.
I understand, so.
Yeah, if you could send him that and let them.
Hell, I can be glad to send back.
Yeah, and let Mike send it back. I think there's some wording in there that we just need to get straightened out before we move forward. I don't have an issue with it at
No,
all.
no,
I mean,
I
it ain't no
think
big
it'd be
deal.
better to
Yeah.
have everything worked out.
First of all, if y'all want to sell this, I need some direction on that.
Well, I mean,
I would rather not.
If you wanna,
Well,
I mean,
you mean sell it by saying we're putting in a permanent
easement.
perpetual easement?
yes, that's what you're doing.
I mean, yeah, when we give anybody an easement, it's pretty much that.
And most people will pay us.
I mean,
Outbound
the
power.
e-order me.
I'm not necessarily averse to you doing it, but I
No, I
would
think- I
want to
think
make
it's
sure
an
that
area.
it was, disguised in some way.
Thank you, Brian.
Yeah.
With a fence and.
Me too. I like what they're doing for our city.
Landscaping.
So we just need to figure that out too, I guess, internally,
Okay.
Yeah.
what we're gonna do there, but.
I mean, I can work with Martin, we can work with them
Yeah,
on
we-
hiding it and doing all that. I mean,
Berkeley, that's an area you're not worried about, one day you're gonna need that. That's not, hey, one day that's gonna be the diamond of the baseball thing.
And what do you prefer, what type of buffer do you prefer for?
well, I mean, I really don't
Wooden
want a
fence?
fence. I prefer some greenery around it where it kind of just blends with that
Yeah.
little area over there would be.
Yeah.
You know, I can work with them, that it's easy access for them in and out and, you know, just kind of get it hid and where it's.
Got it, okay. That's
Because it's
good.
kind of running up that little tree that's right there. So I mean, that area right there is not that, I mean, Mary and I, we looked at it, she looked at it with me. and
Nothing pretty
It's, you know.
currently.
Okay.
So we want to lease it, is that what I hear?
I mean,
It's really half a dozen of one and six of the other.
That would be my preference, but.
I mean-
Because-
There's
We don't
I know, I'm just saying, but we're releasing it to them.
I mean, we didn't think we were gonna
In
build that
perpetuity.
pool over there.
But if we say,
Well,
if we give it a term
A
limit,
lease.
we can choose to give it a term limit.
Yeah.
And just say,
Yeah,
Lease is not in perpetuity.
so we would just run and do like perpetual.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't we do this, just, everybody, if you have thoughts as Mr. Kendrick is working through this, send them to them, but I think they can work together, the attorneys can work together to come up with something, and then we meet in 2 weeks, and then we can,
Okay.
we'll, we can take care of it this month.
Oh, that'd be perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking of the lease versus easement. Is that at some point that'll have to be renewed, or they'll just up and leave, but they'll have all their fiber optics in the right of way already? That means they would shut down a whole neighborhood if they couldn't find another spot.
I think they need something pretty permanent, just out of it.
Yeah, that's the only issue with losing the location. Is that not correct, Chris, basically?
Yeah, I mean, basically,
Yeah, I mean,
if we
that'd
decided
be
to
something
terminate it,
that-
okay, everybody, no
You
more
couldn't just
internet.
get it sideways.
Congratulations.
We'd have to have some kind of agreement on that, don't you?
People
And
want
it's
flooded.
it's really good internet. I mean, it's like 1 gigabyte plus.
No, I think this can be great for Homewood, what they're doing.
Yeah.
Another option may be that we remove the, I guess if we did in the easement, we could remove the above ground stuff we put in. Or you can put something there, we could file a release for the easement or something like that, if that would work.
Whatever you guys wanna do, but I mean, it's not that big of a section, so.
No, it's really not.
Yeah.
And I will say
Yeah.
this, I mean, we can make the term of a lease
I
long or
mean,
short if we want to.
the only thing, like I said, I hate tying up somebody down the road that may not agree with my thought process of it, but I mean, it's not that big of an area where it's at. I don't necessarily think it's gonna be that big of an issue.
18 feet by 18.
Right, what we would need is actually 15 by 15. The 18 by 18, the 3 extra feet would be for fencing and landscape.
Or whatever.
So if you want, you know,
It's
bushes,
not as
mats,
big as you
whatever.
think. You go out there and look,
Yeah.
and
10
it's,
feet is not yet.
I made, they marked it off for me, because I had to see
Okay.
it visually, and so, but that's why I took Barry and Mike over there to look at it, so, I'm good either way, whatever you want to do.
We need to carry it.
Okay, so without objection, we'll carry this over until our next meeting, and then I think we'll have a good draft. But I want to have all the negotiations hopefully handled before our next meeting, so it can be.
And then, do you ever, who's the contact at hand there in Dawes Hamlet? Is it
Brooks Milling.
Brooks Milling? I'm sure you probably know Mr. Kendrick.
You know him? Is that who? No, that ain't.
Yeah, his name's on these documents.
Okay, good.
You got a phone number and all on there for you?
Oh, I can get that.
Okay.
Okay.
And just allow Mr. Kendrick to negotiate the.
Yeah, y'all just
price.
carve it all up, make it nice and pretty.
Let him negotiate the price.
I'll walk it better when I get through.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, good deal. So your next meeting is 2 weeks from today?
That's right.
It's in the 15th?
15th.
Okay, then we'll come back for
And
that.
then it'll, if it passes in the next meeting, the 22nd, it'll get voted on.
Okay. And just for my own information, after we leave this committee, we go to council, correct?
Correct.
The next
And
week.
that'll pass.
Yeah,
Okay,
after
and
that
then they'll,
second.
yea or nay that.
That's right.
Okay. And then after that,
Pretty much it's ready to go.
either way.
So we should have it now.
Okay, I didn't put my address or anything. You need all that?
That's okay.
No, just your thing, make sure we have
I
it.
just live next burg down.
All right, good deal. Well, thank you for coming, and we'll be in touch on the contract.
Okay, good deal. All right, we'll be back in 2 weeks.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so without
Thank you.
objection, we're gonna carry that over. Okay, 060722, request to declare the following surplus items: 2016 Tahoe, 2020 Harley Davidson Road King. It's chief here or anybody?
I will say, I
Yeah,
actually,
this is
I saw both.
We
of
told,
them.
we said that we asked Jeff to report, he didn't have to come, but it was the two that were in that accident.
Yeah, and the Tahoe didn't look as bad as the motorcycle. The motorcycle, when I saw
But
that.
Travelers is totally, for them to take it away, they need to declare surplus.
Yes.
Good,
Yeah.
so I'd entertain a motion to
Yeah, I would,
declare that.
make a motion to declare both of these, surplus.
Second.
Moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Hart. Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. We'll do an ordinance next week. 070722, request for consideration of budget amendments. And Mr. Burgess sent out something this afternoon, but we have an updated list there. He's gonna pass out.
You want the?
Yeah, the one you just, so we just have 4 items up there. And Berkeley's here if you have any questions for him.
The first 3 are just line item transfers.
Yeah, line item transfers.
Not new money.
What park activity is taking up? Hey Berkeley, what park activity? What's the park activity that we're moving money for?
Oh, shoot, my fertilizer,
Oh,
and that stuff like
Triple.
quadrupled in price.
Yeah.
And we always order it in August, because they give you, we thought it was a better deal until, I reckon we couldn't order as much. I've got to order in August, and I got to turn around and order again in October.
So like we need to buy some cows or something.
So, they don't have, I mean, the guys, we've been buying from them for years, but they can't get it. We've literally bought everything they've got that they can commit to us, so.
maybe we, yeah, like Walter said, maybe we can get us some cows and put them up on 6 acre.
Smell for a while.
And generate our own.
I think it's some goats on
Fertilizer.
some kudzu right now.
All right,
Oh, yeah.
one way or the other, we make it happen.
All right.
All right.
Okay, so are there any questions about this? I'd entertain a motion to approve the budget amendments.
Motion to approve.
Okay, Mrs. Smith, excitedly entertain that motion.
Can I ask a question? I'm
Sure.
sorry. I don't know what we decided on, Alex, with the SIM card.
Yeah, we're including that in here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The last deal.
Yes.
Okay, all right, I second it.
Okay. Moved by Mrs. Smith, second by Mr. Hart. Any other questions, comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, it's 4-0. 080722, request for consideration of Shades Creek Greenway Phase 2.
Hey, Keith said you was-
Kale's out of town.
Keith's just.
Sure, bring us you brought us good news earlier.
Now we're going the other way.
Now
I'll bring you good news and that the Greenway finally bid. Aldott finally let it this past Friday. We had 3 bidders total. The low bid was $6.7 million, which going into the bid, our estimate was a little bit over $6 million, but this was slightly higher. The second low bidder was $8 million, so I'm pleased to at least get the contractor who bid it at 6.7. So the process now is Aldott will put together an invoice and get ready to send that to the city probably here in the next few weeks. And they will add 28% on top of the 6.7 million. That's standard, unfortunately. That covers the CE&I cost of 15% and their indirect costs, which they always add at 13%. So that's standard for Aldott CMAQ projects. So you will be invoiced 20% for the total project cost.
Almost $2 million.
20% of the total project cost, which is what?
1.7.
Total project cost was a ballpark 8.6
Yeah, 8.6.
for a match of around 1.7, some change.
Match is 1.7, okay.
Approximately.
And this is to extend path of all of
This
this.
is phase 2.
Yeah.
It's gonna
Been
be
working on this for a long time. I thought it was
26.
Talked to the NPO and
Jennifer Anderson Trail Extension.
Do we need and do we need to make amendments now to the budget?
Yeah, we were just gonna see if y'all could, whatever Robert tells you, if we can just add that budget amendment to the one up before, we'll just do that one resolution for budget.
Okay, all right, we'll do that, okay.
Just be easier, if that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I think we'll be having
Okay.
1.2 million.
So a motion here, I guess, is to
Except for the.
accept the bid for phase 2 Greenway.
And remind me, Keith, we're gonna go around the back, behind Walmart, Sam's, et cetera, and we're gonna terminate at the apartments.
Get to, just beyond the Fox property, the Fox property.
Oh,
is.
right.
We're trying to go north through the Fox property, which is now Homewood property.
Yeah.
We'll terminate behind those new apartments.
All right.
We're gonna have to pay CNI directly, get reimbursed, or is it just the match of 1.7?
Good question. You will pay the CNI directly. That'll be a contract with GMC.
How much is that?
I haven't been determined yet.
That's
It's
still-
probably around 800,000, give or take, but that's part of the 15% that they're adding.
And then is that gonna be an 80/20 match?
Well, you're paying your 20% upfront.
Okay.
It's part of that 1.7, so you'll get reimbursed 100% as we go through the project. And then Alabama will pay the contractor each month. So once you write your check for 1.7, you'll have a little bit of cash flow during the project, but it'll be payout and we don't get it back.
Okay, so the proper motion, I guess, is to accept the bid and proceed with the project with the mayor. You need a signature from the mayor?
The mayor will have to authorize a check to be written to Alabama. They don't have to have a resolution or anything like that. They just want the city's check.
We just don't have enough money in the line item. We have 1.2 million.
Yeah, 1.2, did
So we'll have to
increase
add
to
some.
1.7.
Okay.
It's in Fund 26, the
Okay, so all that-
government warrant fund.
Motion to accept that lowest responsible bidder and proceed with the project and have the mayor allow the checks to be written.
Moved by Mr.
All
Smith.
those things.
Second.
Second by Mr. Harden. All right, any other questions, comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by the same sign, 4-0.
Your contractor is Chilton Contractors, by the way. which
Chilton?
They'll do a good job. They're very reputable.
Yeah, just
Very good.
sending a message. Once the contract is signed, what's the next step on that?
Once you get the
Well-
invoice from the state, once they receive your check, they will then award the project. Because right now they're sitting idle. The only thing they're doing right now is preparing the invoice to the city. They won't award or sign any contract with the contractor until they get your check. Once they get your check, I would say you're about 30 to 40 days after that, and we'll have a pre-con and we'll just proceed. So we're at the 1st of August here. I would say we'd be starting sometime probably mid-September, mid to late September.
Can you coordinate a groundbreaking for the council to go
Yeah.
out there?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
we should. I mean,
seriously.
this has
After all this
been-
time?
we should-
Seriously.
I need another shovel.
No, they'll charge us for it.
I don't want to shovel. I don't even shovel. But I would like to acknowledge that. it's-
Yeah, exactly. Oh, my gosh.
Well, just bring those big scissors the chamber
That
has.
can be set at any time.
Seriously.
So if we want to target something in September, that works best for everybody, let's go ahead and do that. I'll get our contractor to be there. That'd be good.
Okay, good. Very good, thank you. Yes, sir. Okay. Moving on, 090722, request to set a bid date for Mecca Avenue sidewalks. The note I have, Mr. Smith, it says September 12th is his preferred date for that.
All right, well, I would make a motion to set the bid date for the Mecca Avenue sidewalks for September 12th at 4:30.
Yeah, let's take
Second.
30.
President Mark, we gonna do committee meetings before the council meeting that night since Labor Day? As I said, bid opening that day.
We're setting a bid date for 9/12.
Because the 5th is Labor Day.
So yes, we probably will do this that night.
So is it okay for bid opening at 4:30? Do we need to move it early?
Whatever's convenient for you.
I want to do 4 and 10.
I defer to you longer, so what y'all.
Yeah, let's do it before.
We'll do it 4. I amend my motion. Set the bid date for 4.
Second.
Counselor Allen.
So we have to make sure whoever's writing the bid specs that normally that we take them till like close of business at 4:30. So what's the cutoff gonna be? 3:59?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can pick it whatever
Do you-
time you want, so 4 o'clock.
Yeah, due at 4 o'clock, opening at 4 o'clock. That's what that was your motion.
Sure.
Okay, been motion seconded, for 4 o'clock. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, that's 4-0. So that was September 12th for him, and he asked the next two to be just in 10-minute increments. So 10/07/22, request to set bid date for Delcris Drive sidewalks. The recommendation was September 12th at
4:10.
4:10, due at 4 p.m. and open at 4:10.
Someone.
Okay.
Second.
Haha, you got a second on that. All in on the motion?
Forest Pro sidewalks,
Smith.
finally.
Second. Okay, any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0, that passes. 11/07/22, bid date for Huntington Stormwater Culvert replacement. He recommended September 12th at 4:20, due at 4 o'clock.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Mrs. Smith,
I'm
second
totally
by Counselor
guilty.
Allen. 4:20.
Are you probably gonna do your finance at 4:30, but you
Yeah,
want to do it at 5?
we'll do it at 4:30.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign, 4-0, that passes. And our last item, 17/07/22, request authorize the mayor to sign a contract for services FY 21-22 with the Bell Center, budget appropriations, which, so this has already been budgeted, this is just the mayor
Move to
sign the
approve.
contract. Okay.
Second.
And Mr. Kennedy, I'll send you the contract for services to the Bell Center. It's me this year. They just sent me.
Seconded by Mr. Pardon. Any other questions, comments?
We sent them an example. to
All in
everybody.
favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by the same sign. 4-0. Anything else? Okay.